We're here in South Florida in Boca Raton at Boca Black Box for the debut of Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. And let me tell you something, jack of all trades, he's got to be right up there. If not, Mount Rushmore. Yes, I'm going to say Mount Rushmore, jack of all trades. Ryan Katz, what an incredible journey for you so far. And first, just want you to talk about what brings you here to Boca Raton Championship Wrestling.
And what brings me here to Boca Raton Championship Wrestling is actually my return to the independent wrestling scene. And this is like 9 years in the making now. I think it was actually May 19th or May 18th, 2013 that I was retired in a match by Brawlin' Bo Cooper at Millennium Pro Wrestling in Simi Valley, California, and I have not been involved in anything since then. I was fortunate to then have the 8.5-year run with WWE at the Performance Center at NXT, but what brings me here is the return and the energy and the vibe and the style and the flash and Boca, man. I mean, flamingos and palm trees and glitz and glamour and neon and old women and jewelry and entertainment connections and I mean, this is Boca. This is what
you know you're Boca Raton. Let me tell you that, Ryan.
Yeah, I mean, this is about, I think anyone that's here can maybe do some networking, maybe able to find some business opportunities, find a real estate agent, you're looking to do some banking. I think this is the place to be, not just for the greatest entertainment and Florida's finest wrestlers, but you're also going to be able to just be amongst the people, and it's going to be an experience.
What has been like helping with this show and also the card that's here for this one? So much talent on it.
Matthew and Neil did a great job of putting together a stacked and jacked lineup of some of Florida's finest, as I like to say. And we're bringing the brawl by the beach because they, you know, partnering up with CCW and Coastal Championship Wrestling, it's been an incredible partnership to bring some of the top superstars of Southern Florida. And now you got a lot of the NXT superstars that were coming from Central Florida, and we're meeting down here in Southern Florida, right in the middle in Boca. The Miami people coming up, the Orlando people coming down, and it's almost going to be like a turf war, and it's almost going to be this north and central versus south, and it's going to be an incredible experience as you got a lot of the what I'll call up-and-comers of CCW trying to establish themselves against the names and the established talent that's coming up from Orlando, coming down from Orlando.
And with CCW, I know Cha-Cha Charlie, Ariel Levy, TC Reed, ERA.
Kerry Morton involved. I mean, it
Venetius.
keeps going, absolutely. I mean, the lineup keeps going. And then on the other side, you got Noah Kukoa, you got Steve Macklin, you got Cesar Bononi. You're talking superstars from AEW, from Impact Wrestling, formerly of NXT. This is just a smorgasbord and a spectacle of superstars.
It really is something what Matt and Neil have been able to do for their first show. It's incredible. This is going to be so much fun tonight. And also Josh the Good
Oh my
Woods,
God, how can you
who's a
forget about
local
Josh?
guy, Ryan. He's a Coral Springs guy, so not far from Boca Raton and all. This is where his stomping grounds and all.
And there's a lot of people that kind of have some roots here on this card. This is really going to be something special, and I can't wait to feel the energy because I think you're going to feel that hometown energy. And Josh Woods has something to prove, man. I mean, as the reigning ROH Pure Champion, he's still trying to break through to the mainstream level. And a big win here against Steve Macklin from Impact, I think that's going to establish him as one of the top stars to look forward to in 2022.
Ryan, you've been involved in this business. And by the way, I have to say this. Okay, who's the better pitch man? I don't know. I don't know if you can answer this. Is it Doc Gallows or is it Ryan Katz? Because I put you... Now I'm putting you both up there because Doc is an incredible pitch man too.
I mean, absolutely, and it's just a testament of committing yourself to your craft and bringing forth the charisma, and it's all about that internal heart, love, and passion. If you have passion about something, it's easy to sell because you're not trying to hustle someone, you're not trying to work someone into the sale, you're actually just exuding your natural energy and trying to just make them feel it too. Emote and bring them into your world, bring them into the energy that's created, and that is an energy of fun, that is an energy of flash, that is an energy that is going to go wild tonight here at the Boca Black Box.
And we talk about some of the talent that's going to be here, and it's just interesting on the women's side. A lot of talent as well with Santana Garrett, MJ Jenkins.
Jesse Elaban. I mean, you talk MJ Jenkins, a whole lot of women. She has done it all. Been a part of Impact Wrestling, been a part of NXT, was part of NXT's Mae Young Classic tournament. And this woman is an entertainment
juggernaut?
Yeah. I mean, she can do it all. I think they call it the triple threat: sing, dance, wrestle. I mean, she's got all those skills. She's going to be looking for her M sharp major. Try to put out. I always call Jesse Elaban the jelly bean right there. Trying to put out the sweet jelly bean. Try to take care of Santana Garrett, our local superhero.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that I'm looking forward to watching, because these three women bring talent. They bring confidence. They bring poise. They bring something that's proud. You know, that you're proud to watch. You're proud to see. You're proud to be a part of what they're doing, and you're rooting for them and pushing for them to excel and be the best that they can be.
I love this. And Ryan, this is so amazing because you've been in this business a long time, and I'd love to just get your take on women's wrestling and how far it has come. And do we credit Ronda Rousey in MMA? I know we see Ronda Rousey now, but Ronda Rousey in MMA as helping springboard this, along with Shimmer, Shine, some of the pro wrestling groups.
All of those things. And Ronda's reign in UFC and Ronda's just breakthrough into the mainstream status is absolutely what led a women's revolution in sports. But then it goes further than that, because it goes to the women's soccer team, and it goes to the basketball players, and all sports started to have athletes that are shining, and Lindsey Vonn on the slopes, and all of these different athletes that are trying to show that, hey, women are empowered, and they're trying to take the reins, or take the
mantle.
Yeah, and show that they can do everything as good, if not better, and just go out there. And once again, it's about proving to themselves that they're out to exceed their potential and be the best they can be. And to watch what we had at, what they had at WWE and the women's revolution and evolution, and how that's now transformed to where, like, the women are main eventing pay-per-views in this day and age, and that's in AEW, that's in WWE, that's in Impact. Like, this is a testament that women's wrestling is not a filler. It is not a popcorn match. It's not just about TNA and being eye candy. It's about showing athleticism. It's about showing hard work. It's about showing that these women have dedicated themselves to being athletes, to being entertainers, and they go out there every time and do all of those things. They perform in the ring as an athlete, and they entertain as an entertainer.
And Ryan, you've seen so much of that, especially the WWE Performance Center up in Orlando, and then with NXT. And I'm curious, and I know there's been so many that go through the doors. Who comes to mind? Who stands out to you? Who you've worked with?
I mean, I
male or female?
Yeah, I mean, I was fortunate to work with those top women who broke the glass ceiling right there. So for me, I was able to work with Bayley and Sasha Banks and Charlotte and Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch and the Iconics. I mean, I actually was the officiant of Peyton Royce's wedding to Shawn Spears. Or I shouldn't say Peyton Royce. I'm so used to using old names to Cassie. And like, the talent level, especially 2013, 14, 15 at the Performance Center, and that is when this women's revolution and evolution was going on, the work ethic was unmatched by anyone. I would say, in seeing all the different classes that came through the Performance Center and all the different tryouts that would come through, the women just generally outworked the men. And I think I'll probably get a little bit of heat, and I'll get some comments for me saying that, but they didn't have the same ego coming into the building. They were willing to ask for and receive help and feedback. They were willing to put themselves out on the line and make themselves look stupid to show that they have something else to offer, instead of being too cool for school and just waiting and seeing if they like me, they like me. So it was just so impressive that week after week, that group of women, I'm going to throw Lana into the mix of that as well, who was one of my favorite people to work with, that once again had just had this long-term creative relationship and helped her sculpt, the Russian and her and Rusev. And like, so I met her at her tryout, back in California. She was part of a 1-month tryout, and I think it was late 2012. It may have been early 2013. And when I met her, I was like, we're going to make you Drago's wife, and we'll find a Drago. And less than a year, so it was 13, because less than a year later, she had made it up to the main roster. I think it was about 6 months, and that was a mission of mine when I got signed. You know, when I finally got hired by WWE, it was my mission to take CJ Perry, who had 0 wrestling experience, and fast track her through that system. Because for me, it was one of those things that a lot of inside wrestling people don't necessarily like the outsiders, and they're a little, they put up walls, barriers, and blockades to make sure that they want it, they're hungry, and they prove it. And I got to be honest, from day one, CJ showed that she wanted it, she was hungry, and she proved it, and she put in the work. And it talked, you know, I'm going to use the creativity, just being creative, week after week after week after week. It's hard. It's a grind. It's a challenge. But those that have the necessary tools find a way to make it happen every single week, and they keep doing it, and they keep raising the bar every week that they do.
And Ryan has a podcast, and we'll mention that. We're going to mention that. Give us a little bit of the podcast, and I also, after you mention that, give us all the jobs you did for WWE at Performance Center, because you wore a man. Yeah. By the way, cool hat. You're a man of many cool hats.
Thank you, man. I'm a big fan of the Kango, old school
literally and figuratively.
I'm a big fan. I do wear many hats, and I do wear many hats. Now I just lost my train of thought.
No, the podcast.
The podcast.
I'm throwing three things at you.
Oh my goodness. How fortunate, like, life throws amazing opportunities at you if you're willing to look and see where they're coming from. And I was fortunate enough to be asked to go do a podcast with Road Dogg. I mean, when a Hall of Famer calls you up and says, hey, would you be my co-host as we go try to go talk about wrestling and talk about his career, I was like, absolutely. And I'm part of Conrad's ad-free network, and the podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can watch a video version on YouTube. I encourage everyone to subscribe, to share, to download, do everything that's necessary on that. But week after week, we're just telling stories about Road Dogg's career. Last week's episode, we had Scott Armstrong on as a guest, and it was incredible to hear Scotty just talk about the old territory days and his family, the Armstrong family, and breaking in.
Yeah, there's a little connection there with Road Dogg and Armstrong.
Yeah, I mean, Big Brother was on the show, and just the banter, the communication, the relationship, it was awesome. And like 6 of that, I think that was episode 5, and it was not just because it was the latest one, but my favorite episode to date. And it was just incredible. And each week we bring some energy, and we tell stories, and we have a good time. And hopefully people listening feel the same way and are enjoying hearing what they're, what's being told.
Name of the show.
Oh, You Didn't Know, with Road Dogg and Ryan Katz.
Do you get to share some of your experiences? Because I know it is Road Dogg's show, but you have so many experiences as well.
We haven't done too much about me yet, and I'm more of the facilitator and asker of questions and pulling off the interviewer and kind of just keeping things...
hosting.
Hosting and on track. And when me and Road Dogg both get distracted, try to bring us back in order. Eventually, I think Dogg talked about wanting to do an episode kind of with him switching the tide and doing the interview with me, and we'll see if that happens. And it'll be fun if it does, but people could reach out and ask me questions anywhere. I share my life pretty openly.
You do, and it's so great. You're so interactive with that social media and all, which is very cool with all the fans, and everybody likes you. Everybody likes you. Fans, people you've worked with.
I'm sure there's a few.
Well, okay, all right. No, but we're not here. But I really want to talk about that. But the thing is, what I mean is, though, you're a really genuine guy, and the thing is, I'd love to know all the different hats you wore. I remember going to PC a couple times, and we're in, I think it's the green room?
Yeah.
The green screen?
Yeah.
And there you are with MJ Jenkins and Boogs. And it was a media thing, exactly. And you guys, so you're helping with that. You're helping with interviews and all, but what other hats?
When I got hired, I was told my 2 responsibilities were to 1, be indispensable, and 2, not be Dusty's errand boy. Cleaner version of that.
Yes.
So, not being indispensable. So, I made sure that I was involved with anything and everything that they would allow me to be a part of. And fortunately, you talked about me being a jack of many trades or all trades. I have that skill set. So from production to shooting on camera, to doing editing, to doing motion graphics, to making posters and flyers, to writing promos, to coaching promo class, to putting together and producing internal shows and organizing stuff for tryouts. anything and everything, hosting VIP meet and greets and all access events, and at the TakeOver pay-per-views in the arena, VIP fan fests, and being the liaison and host for that, and just once again being indispensable and making myself an undeniable presence for the company. And while I wish that undeniable presence could have potentially carried me on for even more years,
but you had a great run.
Had an amazing run, 8.5 years of education, entertainment, dreams coming true, touring the world, an experience overload that I mean, you can't do anything but smile and just look forward to wonder what's next, but know that the past has been a heck of a run, and I got nothing but good things to say about it.
Yeah, the past keeps getting clearer every day as we go in the future, and because of all those good relationships and all those things that you're able to do, it will open more doors for you, and that's a credit to just what you've been able to do.
And that's the hustle. You keep going, you keep moving forward, and you push. I mentioned before about opportunities. You know, sometimes they're not right in front of your face, and you don't know they're there. And you got to explore, and you got to reach, and you got to network, and you got to put yourself out there, and make yourself a little bit vulnerable, and make yourself uncomfortable, and go to places that you might not have been, and hopefully the energy has its minutia that makes it all work out.
Okay, suits. Suits are a big thing for you or not? Because I'm saying you're more of a casual dress guy than a suit guy.
So I actually love being dressed up. I mean, GQ Money was the old school independent name.
And I didn't know this.
And that's because it was my style. GQ was the way. Now, after living in Florida for so long, I have definitely adopted a more casual t-shirt, hat, flip-flop slides, and a more relaxed approach. But I think you'll see tonight, even though I'm in my Gangrel tracksuit right now, I'm going to put on the suit, but with a little Boca flair. Yeah. There'll be a Cool Cat summer tank top under that suit.
We're not talking Miami Vice, are we? Are we doing Miami Vice?
We're gonna have some blue linen, so it may have that feel a little bit.
Don Johnson eating your heart out. That's awesome. All right, Ryan, a few more questions.
Yeah.
I appreciate so much that you've taken the time to do this and all. You mentioned something I thought that was very interesting, officiating weddings.
Yeah.
All right, so Chad Gable's tag team partner was Jason Jordan. How did you get the gig over Mick Foley and Jason Jordan to officiate that wedding? Because they could do it too.
I mean, there's a lot of people that...
Why was Jason no? Now I'm going to take that back. It was Connor of the Ascension.
Connor
My God, I should know that because he's a local Coconut Creek guy.
Connor
Connor the Ascension and Mick Foley. How did you get the gig over those two?
See, on that one, I was on the dance floor instead doing my thing at that wedding, but instead of in the officiate. I mean, it's a big market of competing for these spots. I mean, and there's a lot of wrestling couples out there, and I've definitely thrown a couple of messages, and I don't think I'm going to be able to score the Becky Seth, and I wasn't able to score the Alexa Bliss, and like it's a grind. It's just like getting booked like as an indie wrestler trying to contact promoters. It's like, hey man, I'm looking at getting booked. Do you need me to officiate your wedding? Here's my rate. Like, but I love it. So doing the Peyton Royce one, I did a friend of mine outside of wrestling's in Northern California as well. And then here's another twist of a wrestler doing something. Steve Carino was the officiant of my wedding.
Yes!
So the king of old school actually was standing under the chuppah, and it was an amazing experience, especially as he had to talk about a chuppah. It was phenomenal. The wedding business, very competitive in the wrestling world. Me and Steve actually talked about maybe we start a business and do a tag team officials, and start tag teaming weddings and stuff, and do stuff on shows. Obviously he's under contract, so it's not something that's possible, but a boy can dream.
Yes, yes. I got to see Mick Foley officiate Kid Cadet's wedding, and she was on Say Yes to the Dress.
Okay.
He did an episode with her, and she's very talented too. She sings, she ring announces, she hosts podcasts. Comic-Con she's hosting. She's another jack of all trades, a Jill of all trades, yes, actually, and all. But it was so funny though and cool to see that dynamic where someone you know from another entertainment world officiating a wedding.
So, and I think everyone knowing me and my personality and wrestling and all that, they expect it to be over the top, and they always ask me if I'm going to be doing wacky stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm here to celebrate love, yeah, and I bring a very nice ceremony, and like I don't want to like toot my own horn, but
we're knocking wood. Yes.
The couple of times I've done it, I've had people come up to me and we're just like, I'll leave you been doing this for a long time. This was incredible. Like, it was just so well done, and it just makes me feel good because I get to celebrate love, and hopefully these marriages last forever, and you can wish nothing but the best for them, but the experience is just amazing. Like, and there's emotion. What was it? In NXT, I had to do the rehearsal of the officiant for Dexter and Indy's wedding. The actual officiant that was there for the wedding wasn't there for rehearsal, so I stood in for the role. But when we finished the rehearsals, they came up and were like, "We're paying another guy. We could have just had you do it right from the get-go."
We're already paying you, right?
Exactly. Like, put you in the spot. But it's just fun stuff to do. I like to be in front of people. I like to perform, and I like to share energy.
Wow. Well, the follow-up to that is, what made you decide to get that license and be able to do that?
So it was really about helping a friend the first time. So my friend Kevin, who I obviously it's not that hard to go become a wedding officiant. So like he had asked if it would be something I wanted to do. We've been close from the RXBW days, so we have a 20-year friendship and all that. And him knowing my speaking skills and hosting abilities and the way I like to pontificate in front of people, and it was just something. He's like, "Would you be willing to do it?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And then from doing the one, then when Ronnie and Cassie's wedding came up, it was like, guys, and in California too, that's where my license is. So it was back to Malibu for that one, and just an awesome experience.
What a great experience, and another hat added to the collection that I didn't know about. This so good.
And I have a hat. I have a Rev Ryan with the Run DMC style logo. It's Rev Ryan.
Oh, that's great. All right, we got to wrap this up because I've taken so much of your time and all. There are two things I'll wrap it up with. The first one, you mentioned Dusty, and just what it was like working with Dusty at the WWE Performance Center.
The greatest thing in the world, the greatest person. I had 2 years of being with Dusty and getting to be his, for him to be my mentor and to be his apprentice, so to speak. And we had a bond and a connection that was really cool, and it didn't start that way. Like, there was some conflict in the beginning that I came in and I got a big personality and I'm a little bit bold and
Dusty has a bigger than life, larger than life personality.
He didn't want me at that point being boss. Yeah. Like, he didn't hire me to be an assistant at that point. He hired me for a different role, so he didn't want Dusty to just start bossing me around from the beginning. So there was a little bit of headbutting, and I've said it to you before, but it's my favorite thing is there was a situation where I had to move something out of Dusty's office that I was asked to do, and Dusty came in the building as I was doing it, and so I got like caught red-handed, and he just flipped for the day and was storming around the building. Who does this guy think he is? He's been here for 4 minutes. I've been here 40 years. This guy walking around like he owns the place and all this. And then I worked hard. I did good work in the relationship built, and then we built the bond. And then after that, it was, Ryan Katz, I'm not your boss. Ryan Katz, I'm not even just your coworker. I'm your friend. And it was just something that was so special to me. And then when he died, devastating, because he was personally the like grandfather-like figure. I mean, I gotta be honest, like, it affected me more than when my grandfather died. Like, I was crushed. And I think also professionally, when I was in this place where I'm living my dream, and one of the greatest performers of all time is one of my biggest cheerleaders and trying to push me into bigger and better roles all the time. And then when he passed, things kind of changed for me a little bit, and I was like, I think I was seen as like Dusty's guy, and they kind of wanted to humble me and put me in my place at that point, which is cool. It just made me work harder and do better work and grow and evolve as a person. But like him, the storytelling, the energy, the love, the just as I said, the grandpa-like feel, the big hugs, the big laughter, amazing. I mean, he's the best. I have a picture of him giving the finger before he went in for a surgery. So he's in his gown in the hospital bed with a rubber glove giving the finger, and I have that signed for that he wrote me a thing, and it's in my bathroom. And when my guests come in that bathroom and see it,
they laugh. Everyone laughs.
It's Dusty's just giving him flipping him the bird right there.
Hey, if anyone's having issues in the restroom, that'll probably loosen everything up too. Make it easier to go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, hey, social media for fans. What do you have?
Catch me at ryanismiley.com. My website kind of gives you a little bit of everything. It'll give you the links to all the social media. We'll give you links to the merchandise and all that. You can get me at I am Smiley on Twitter. Ryan is Smiley on Instagram. It's kind of a combination between the I am and the Ryan is. What was it? I think it was when I got hired by WWE. I accidentally lapsed my I am Smiley account, and I lost the account.
Oh.
And then all of a sudden, it went up for sale when I missed it for like thousands of dollars, and I was like, "Whoa!" I'm the like. Anyways, it's never.
And I'm not making any money off of that either. What's going on?
Ryan is Smiley. I am Smiley. RyanIsSmiley.com. All those places. Check out the Oh You Didn't Know podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever it is. Search for it. Check out HowToBeAProWrestler.com for my ebook. That's another little thing for people who are trying to break in and kind of just looking for that roadmap and path. It's just a quick and easy read and resource guide. I kind of did the research. It's no real like secret, so to speak, but I did the research to kind of help you get started. So someone who's coming out of high school, someone who's finishing college and looking to figure out how to break in, has a resource of wrestling schools, gives you a directory of things you should know and should be prepared for. Gives
Etiquette, proper etiquette.
A lot of etiquette. It talks about how to stand out and be different and not go in just with a love of pro wrestling, but bring something unique and different. Because if you do want to be at the top level, you got to be the best of the best. And when you do eventually get that chance to go get a WWE tryout, you're going to be in a room with 40 other people who are the best of the best. So now if 40 of these people are the best of the best, everyone's essentially average. So now you still got to find a way to stand out, be different, be unique, and make yourself undeniable.
You could do a book too about behind the scenes and things and how to get involved there and different aspects of it.
We talk about that in the book too. There's a lot of I give a resource guide for even if you're not going to be a wrestler and there's jobs that you want to do. I'll be honest, the book was inspired by Percy Pringle's old little inside secrets of how you can be a part of pro wrestling, a pamphlet that I bought in PW Illustrated when I was in college that helped me break into the biz. It's kind of I won't lie, it's structured in a very similar format. It's newer information updated for the modern times as the world wasn't as accessible back then as it is now. But it's really, like I said, it's not a reinvent the wheel set of secrets. It's just that quick guide PDF that you can have on your phone that you want to get a little information. You need to get a little contact of a school. You need to figure out, hey, I was trying to work on this. Flip through the book, see what it's like, and make it happen for yourself. Because no dream's too big if you put in the work to make it happen.
Ryan, thank you so much. And I'm curious, as we close here, if you weren't involved in pro wrestling, would you have been in sports marketing and PR or entertainment, music, or movies?
I wasn't a traditional sports fan ever. Wrestling was always my thing in terms of sports, and that's it. I like skiing and other extreme sports, but like the normal team sports wasn't.
The X Games, huge.
I love X Games. I was always into broadcast journalism. I went to college with the intent to try to be a game show host. That was my original
that's amazing.
ambition.
Pat Sajak.
Yeah, absolutely. And then
Wink Martindale. See, that's going way back.
Big Wink Martindale fan. Peter Tabarkian and Gene Rayburn.
Gene Rayburn. Oh my God. Gene Rayburn remembers that.
With my parents, and we were watching Game Show Network earlier, and they're like, "I don't ever watch this." I was like, "Of course you wouldn't, but I do."
Wow. And man, from the Joker's Wild to Password
and
to.
I was on Card Sharks back in the early 2000s. I was on a show called 20Q that was on GSN. I was on an NBC Christmas game show special called Who's Still Standing back in 2012, I think, at end of 2012. The game show world was something I was.
What a crazy world.
And then music also.
Music too, but Bob Barker, The Price is Right. And you see the comedians now, the comedians getting involved in Wayne Brady and Drew Carey. Yeah,
it's hard for an unknown person to get the gig
nowadays.
You have to be established and get brought into those roles pretty much now. Even Chris Jericho was incredible when he was doing that Downfall show. That was a great show that he had for season 2. He did a great job with it.
Well, Ryan, as much as you're the jack of all trades,
Cena on Wipeout, it keeps going forever.
Oh my, it does. Cena on Wipeout, you're exactly right. You think of Mick Foley, Chris Jericho. I know, like, look, Rock and even Hogan to a degree and Piper, more movies. But when you think about, like, different things, I think of Mick Foley, Chris Jericho. Those are two that stand out for me that, like, are involved in different projects, yes, and all. So it's just incredible what it can feed itself off of. And I am going to end this, but where was college for you?
University of Colorado at Boulder.
That's why you like the mountains and the skiing.
I'm a skier since I'm 3 years old.
So what did you do in Florida? Did you do water skiing then?
So it's funny, like in Florida, I was only brought here because of WWE originally, but my parents actually ended up moving down here to Delray, so like now I'm connected. Like, I can't see myself leaving. I like the Florida vibe.
All right, Ryan, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Boca Raton Championship Wrestling, thank you.